All right, let's talk about a tool that's really changing the game in 2025, Copy.ai. Now, you might hear that and think, oh, just another AI writer. But trust me, what's been happening with this platform lately is turning it into something way more powerful. So let's break down what's new, what's different, and why it actually matters for you.
You know that feeling, right? That blinking cursor on a completely blank page. The pressure to just create is absolutely relentless. It doesn't matter if you're a marketer, a founder, or a one-person creative team, the demand for new, interesting content, well, it just never, ever stops.
Exactly. The sales funnel is hungry, the social media channels are getting quiet, and the sales team needs new outreach emails yesterday. It feels like this constant battle against the clock, and you're fighting that dreaded creative block the entire time. It's a universal struggle, and that's what we're going to tackle today.
So, let's shift from the problem to the potential solution we're here to talk about. What is Copy.ai, really, in 2025? And how does it claim it can solve this massive content headache? Okay, I want you to really pay attention to the words on the screen here. It's not just an AI writer anymore. They call it a go-to-market AI platform. That's a huge deal. It means the tool is now designed to help manage the entire communication strategy when you launch something, from the first ads all the way to the final sales emails, and it does it by using the best AI models out there.
So who is this for exactly? Well, the audience for this has gotten way bigger. It's not just for copywriters anymore. We're talking about pretty much anyone who has to create a ton of content that stays true to a specific brand voice. You've got marketers, sales teams, and all the way to solopreneurs who are basically doing everything themselves.
And listen, this isn't some tiny, niche tool. We're talking over 17 million users around the world. And when you see giants like Nestle and Samsung using it, you know it's graduated from being just a cool startup toy to a serious, heavy-hitting business platform.
And that really brings us to the core of what we're unpacking today, the story of how Copy.ai grew up. It didn't just add a few new bells and whistles, it actually changed its entire mission. It went from being a simple writer to being your strategic co-pilot.
And this quote right from the CEO just nails it. Generic AI text is just not good enough for a real business. You need your content to be on brand, to be accurate, and to be backed up by actual data. This perfectly explains their big pivot, moving away from just spitting out words to creating smart, automated content that actually knows your brand.
I mean, just look at this timeline. The speed is incredible. Launching in 2020 and then having explosive growth by 2022 is one thing. But look at 2025 alone. They're releasing these AI agents and plugging in the absolute latest models like GPT-4o. This isn't just a simple update. It's an all-out sprint to solve much bigger, much more complex problems for businesses.
So, what in the world are these content agents? Honestly, it's a beautifully simple idea. You basically train your own personal AI. You just show it a few examples of your best writing, some blog posts, maybe a couple of emails, you give it a name, and that's it. Suddenly, you have an AI that gets your unique brand voice and can create content for you forever. It makes some pretty advanced AI feel super easy to use. And the practical value of this is just huge. I mean, think of all the time you spend on those repetitive but really important tasks. This quote from a user pretty much sums it up. What used to take you days or weeks of grinding is now done automatically, giving you high-quality stuff in a fraction of the time.
But it gets even better because it goes way beyond just writing. The next level up is something called AI workflows. This is where Copy.ai really feels like a co-pilot. It connects all the dots for you. It can research a topic, draft the content, and then send it right over to your Google Docs or Slack channel. It stops being just a writer and becomes your own automated content assembly line.
Now, all this power sounds amazing, right? Which, of course, brings us to that very practical, very important question, what's it going to cost? Let's take a look at the pricing for 2025.
So if you look at this table, you'll see a really important shift away from just counting words. The chat plan at the bottom is super affordable, and it's great for just brainstorming ideas. But the real power, those agents and workflows we talked about, that's in the higher tiers. And they're priced based on workflow credits. Think of a credit as one big automated task, like researching and writing an entire press release. So you're not paying for words, you're paying for the value of the automation itself.
Okay, but let's be real, no tool is a silver bullet. So to give you the full, honest picture, we need to dig into the good stuff, the not-so-good stuff, and see how it stacks up against the other players in the field.
So, what do people absolutely love about it? Well, a few things keep coming up. First, it's incredibly easy to use. You don't have to be a tech genius to get started. Second, it's a total game changer for keeping your brand voice consistent as you grow. And of course, the time savings are just massive. The fact that you can get started with that entry-level plan for a pretty low cost is a huge bonus too.
So, we've heard all the good stuff. But what about the other side of the coin? It's really important to know the limitations before you decide to jump in with your time and money.
So what are the trade-offs? Well, first, no AI is flawless. You're still going to need a human eye to catch any generic phrases or to make sure it's perfectly on brand. Second, as you scale up, that price tag can start to climb. Some users have also mentioned the typical growing pains of a popular tool, like slower customer support. And finally, its sweet spot really is marketing content. It's not the right tool if you're, say, trying to write a deeply researched scientific paper.
So, does this mean human writers are obsolete? Not a chance. The real game here is about choosing the right tool for the job. AI gives you unbelievable speed and scale. A human gives you that quality, creativity, and emotional depth that AI just can't replicate. The smartest teams are actually using a hybrid approach. Let the AI do the first 80% of the work, and then bring in human talent for that final, crucial 20% of strategy and polish.
And how does it compare to the elephant in the room, ChatGPT? Well, the biggest difference is specialization. ChatGPT is a brilliant generalist. It can do a little bit of everything. But Copy.ai is a specialist. It was built from the ground up for business and marketing, with all those templates, brand voice features, and workflow automations that ChatGPT just doesn't have built in.
Okay, so after looking at the features, the evolution, the price, and the competition, what's the bottom line? Let's bring this all home and give you our final verdict.
So here's the takeaway. If you're a marketer, you run a small business, or you're part of an agency, and you need to create a ton of go-to-market content efficiently and consistently, then Copy.ai is probably an amazing fit. On the other hand, if you're a technical writer who needs 100% precision, or you're just looking for a tool that's totally free, you might want to keep looking.
Based on its incredible mix of being easy to use, incredibly powerful with its automation, and just constantly innovating, we're giving Copy.ai a very, very strong 4.5 out of 5. It has definitely earned its place as a top-tier platform that delivers real, tangible value for businesses in 2025.
And that brings us to one final thought to leave you with. Tools like Copy.ai are amazing co-pilots, right? They boost our creativity, they make us more productive. But as they get smarter, more automated, it makes you wonder, where's that line between assisting us and actually creating for us? At what point does the co-pilot start steering the ship? It's something to think about as we all navigate this crazy new world of AI.